Firstly, let's start off by asking, what are the broader implications of Al-Ahli Hospital being rendered out of service for Gaza's collapsing healthcare system?
Greetings to you and to the viewers. Of course, targeting the Mamadani Hospital was one of the ongoing assaults committed by the Israeli occupations. The Ahli Hospital is one of the one of the oldest hospitals in Gaza, established under the British occupation in Palestine. It used to provide services to the Gazan population in particular, and it gained a lot of significance after the demolition of all the other 32 hospitals around Gaza. Now we have only 7 hospitals that were working. The Mamadani Hospital or Al Ahli Hospital was targeted this morning, which is a crime, a war crime, and efforts by the occupation to destroy all means of life in Gaza.
Well, sir, there have been repeated displacement orders now targeting central and southern Gaza, and this has been an ongoing situation for the last 17 months or so. How has this affected the humanitarian situation? And they're always telling people to move to certain, quote, safe zones, but are they actually safe for people and civilians living there?
There are no safe places for the civilians anymore, because all the places was targeted by the occupation. Today we have seen the bombing of Khan Yunis and other places that were called safe with the population in it. We have seen the targeting of working vehicles containing families, complete families, children, women, and men. This is an unprecedented case, similar to the World War II, which witnessed wide-range killing operations. The same scenario is being adopted by the IDF now, bombing every place in Gaza, and civilians are not safe anymore any place inside Gaza. Some of them prefer to die in their houses because all the places are being targeted the same.
Okay, sir, you talked about the idea of targeting medical facilities like Al Ahli Hospital constituting a violation of international law. Will there be any mechanism to hold those responsible accountable for these war crimes?
First of all, we are confident that these crimes are not subject to the statute of limitations, despite of the U.S. defense of the IDF and preventing any decisions to be issued against Israel. All the crimes committed by the IDF are in violation of the international law. We saw the ICC issuing 2 arrest warrants towards Netanyahu and the Minister of Defense. And despite of this, we find Netanyahu visiting Washington over and over, which is a challenge to the international law. Also, Hungary withdrawing from the ICC and hosting Viktor Orban, the Prime Minister of Hungary, to Benjamin Netanyahu. This is the law of jungle, not the international laws. These institutions established after World War II are no longer feasible and not able to protect the members affiliated with it or any human around the globe, as long as their interests are in contradiction with the powerful parties.
Okay, well, what about the latest attacks? How might the latest attacks and displacement orders impact the diplomatic efforts, especially when it comes to the ceasefire negotiations and the international calls for a general de-escalation? Is this still something that is possible given the Israeli actions in the Strip?
During the past few days, the Hebrew media have witnessed reports stating that when Netanyahu was summoned in Washington by President Trump, it wasn't only about the negotiations with Iran, it was also regarding the necessity of ending the war in Gaza. And here we're not talking about a complete halt of hostilities, but ending the operations by the end of next month. And this needs to happen before Trump's visit to the Gulf next month. Of course, they are racing time now, Netanyahu and the far-right government, and taking these random operations, killing and destroying different buildings on 70 kilometers area in the Gaza Strip and in Rafah city in particular. The defense minister Katz today talked about controlling the Rafah city and their intention to take control over the eastern part in Gaza. They are now confining the population in 50% only of the Gaza area, and which are all unsafe areas. All of these crimes are corrupting all the efforts exerted by the mediators. Cairo, for instance, is exerting all efforts possible to revive the peace process, starting with a truce. But all of these crimes and military operations are ruining the efforts. President Sisi is visiting Qatar today and will visit other Gulf countries to discuss a mechanism to reach a ceasefire or a truce. Cairo also is proposing a scheme and a plan to reach an agreement. The US administration are still watching, and they are not exerting any real pressure on Netanyahu, unfortunately, which is the only viable card to obligate Israel to take actions.
Well, sir, you said that there may not be enough pressure exerted on Netanyahu and his government. This is specifically from the US, but in general, the international community is very interested in ending the violence within the Gaza Strip itself. Do you think that European partners, along with the Gulf states and the North African region, may possibly pressure the Netanyahu government into settling the situation?
It's not only about the Arab world leaders or international partners. They do not have the cards to pressure Netanyahu. Only the United States is able to pressure Netanyahu. That's why we have to see a real dialogue with the United States, where the United States realizes that their interests with the Arab world are no less compared to their interests with Israel. The new U.S. ambassador in Tel Aviv does not only belong to the Jewish state, he is also a Zionist, and stated more than once that the U.S. is supporting Netanyahu based on high-level orders, expanding the settlements, and he even endorsed the attacks on the Aqsa Mosque, which is unlimited support by the United States to Netanyahu. Trump has adopted the same approach over and over, inciting against the Palestinian people. Only the United States, if it decides to change their strategy, they're on the only power possible able to pressure the Israeli occupation. Europeans are able, but they are not using their tools or pressuring cards till this moment. And consequently, the European power should be moving in this regard.